How many of you hail from family businesses or are studying discipline that align with them? Well, I'll start with something Edgar Bronfman, a renowned American-Canadian businessman, president and CEO of Seagram said. It's the downside of a family business. Anything good is because I'm somebody's son, otherwise I'm just a schmuck. A hard-hitting reality many heirs to second generations face. I am Jyotsna Uttamchandani, a second-generation entrepreneur. At SYSKA, I spearhead the mobile accessories vertical and also oversee and manage Samsung Smart Cafe retail outlets in Maharashtra under the parent entity SYSKA Group. Today, I'm here to share my journey, a journey that started off in the realm of independence and then moved on to legacy, expectations, and untrodden paths. Infinity and beyond, the theme of this TEDx event resonates profoundly with my entrepreneurial odyssey. While many of you might assume that I was served with opportunities on a golden platter, it was a distinct narrative of self-discovery, resilience, and unexpected challenges. My ambition and entrepreneurial journey started when I decided to step out of India and pursue my further education in the United States at Purdue University. Being passionate about technology, I graduated in computer information science, minored in entrepreneurship and innovation, and a job at one of the top multinationals in the world, Microsoft Corporation. My journey embarked as a premier field engineer, and I slowly climbed up the rungs to become one of the youngest customer success managers at Microsoft. I had the fantastic opportunity to engage with top-tier clients and their executives. At the peak of my career, little did I imagine that I would have to return to India and join the family business. My father, Mr. Govind Uttamchandani, is known as the king of distribution in India. And fitting into his shoes, I knew would be extremely challenging. I knew that if I returned to be a part of his legacy, it meant that I was always going to be under his shadows and umbrella. An unsaid limitation and boundary that I was probably self-creating in my mind. Yet, life had different plans. Due to medical conditions, I had to return back to India in February 2018. After almost a decade, I still remember the final moment before boarding my flight at the JFK. A girl weighing 96 kilos, carrying a total of 6 suitcases, saying goodbye to her first ever car, her achievements, and more so, a huge part of herself. After a 24-hour sleepless journey, tired and still in denial, I landed in India, a home that no longer felt like home anymore. I still hadn't made peace with the fact that I left behind my individuality. They say that the first step to change is awareness, and the second, acceptance. This is precisely where I was stuck. I was unable to accept the change that life had thrown me right outside of my comfort zone. I battled obesity, low self-esteem, and neurologists diagnosed me as clinically depressed. I slept 17 hours in the day due to antidepressants, and the rest crying in a corner in my room, refusing to meet anyone who swung by. From living a life full of independence and being in charge of why, when, what, how of my life to follow my dreams, I was now in a place where I was dependent, muddled, and starting from ground zero. However, the force that my parents are, they decided to not give up on me. They took me to an Ayurvedic retreat for 21 days. At the Balaji Tambe Ayurvedic village, there were several programs designed to focus on cleansing of mind, body, and soul. I was at a place where no one knew my name or where I came from. I ended every day of the Panchkarma journaling my thoughts and emotions that I felt throughout the day. As William's wordsmith said, I was writing and filling that piece of paper with the breathings of my heart. It was like a distillery, filtering out what was good for me and what was not. I didn't realize how I felt and what I thought until I wrote it down, and then I had the courage to shake it off and take a step forward. Let me be honest, it was my first step to the path of self-awareness. I realized that I was unable to accept this change that had turned my life upside down. However, I was one decision away from a different life. And so, I accepted the change and the shift that I did not want to resist. Transitioning to May 1st, 2018, my first day at SYSKA, I still remember one of the conversations that I had with one of our oldest employees. Are you not going to be taking a vacation for the next 30 years just like your father did not? Stumbled for a moment, I smiled and left. Waiting for my father outside his cabin on the 5th floor, my eyes wandered, ears filled with the clicking sounds of the keyboard, and more so the whispers across the office. I heard words like, "Big boss ki beti hai ye, USA se वापस आई है." The only thought that lingered on my mind was that my identity was merely being someone's daughter. My father arrived just in time and called me into his cabin. I profoundly remember those 30 minutes of our brief discussion, where he then said I was ready and introduced me to the team of SYSKA Accessories and Samsung Distribution. Those 30 minutes were the only 30 minutes I have ever fetched to learn from him. 30 minutes equals to 30 years of distribution. How on earth does anyone assume that it is easy to be a second generation? There were people twice my age and those who had worked in the company for longer than I have lived. They came with their own set of ideologies, highly experienced individuals, solid, and probably knew 100 times more about the Indian business than I did. Not lying, I still laugh at my own thoughts of thinking that I could change the system. They say that you can only change the system if you understand it well. However, it was important to be accepted into the system first. I remember studying, researching, reading about Indian business market trends and sales methodologies for days and nights. If a task was to be done, either it was not done at all, or it was only done because I was the boss's daughter. I do not remember a single day when I came back home in the first 90 days crying and regretting that decision to return. However, My resolve led me to the front line. A traditional business focused on offline channel sales, driven solely by a team of 1,200 men, only saw me as a woman nestled in the comfort of her cabin. Does she even know what she's talking about? How will she comprehend the rigors of the field, they said. So I rolled up my sleeves and decided to step right into the field. I traveled 15 days in a month across India, immersing myself to connect to the ground reality, understand the market trends, and directly engage with my sales force and my customers. So every retailer I visited already knew I represented the head office or I was the owner's daughter. So he did one of two things. Either he praised my workforce such as if they were the hardest workers in the room, or complained about my products and praised the competition. Learning over time that these were just tricks of the trade. However, these relentless efforts of working and engaging directly with my team forged and built a new level of respect and trust. They finally cut me some slack, gave me credibility for being able to do exactly what they did on a daily basis. Gaining these market insights, I was able to change policies from top to bottom. Being a traditional credit billing distribution house, SYSKA Accessories had now moved to being completely cash and carry. Within 6 months of me joining the business, our monthly sales increased from single to double digits. I still remember the first Diwali when our sales had skyrocketed and my father responded, "Poor performance, I was expecting more." Just a piece of advice for the future, that is a trap. It's like in a PTA, your teacher telling your parents after you scoring a 90%, you can do better. I regret not knowing that, and I regret falling for it. An overly ambitious me always strived to exceed my father's expectations, often being disappointed if I couldn't match up with them. I did not realize how much I was burning myself out. However, as Tyra Banks says, I am an overachiever, and I am not apologetic for it. As the business expanded, there will be one of two experiences or emotions that you will feel. Either as if you have the entire knowledge here in your head about the business, or that there is some place where you are lacking. During my time at the decision-making table at SYSKA with my father, my chacha, and my cousin, I never once felt that I knew it all. While they, on the other hand, always knew more and better than I did. Did we really think gender bias wouldn't exist in a family-run business? It was implicit, but it was certainly present. I don't mean to play the victim here. However, what I'd like to showcase is that gender bias exists at the highest level. So I decided that I have now reached a plateau, and to explore, I needed to jump into more aspects of the vertical: product selection and portfolio. Earlier, it was taken care of by my brother because boy, better at technology, etc., etc. The strong, assertive, opinionated me decided to challenge this notion that men are better than women and superior in the tech industry. After a lot of internal conflict, 2 years ago, I took over this responsibility and decided to restructure the vertical to seeking manufacturers completely in India than relying solely on China. Funny story, one of my suppliers and a very dear good friend is here today. I still remember my first visit where he thought, Papa ki pari. Let's translate that to Daddy's little princess is here. At that time, I probably overpaid for my neck bands, earbuds, power banks, because I had little to no knowledge about the sourcing in India. However, the learning never stopped. As Steve Jobs said, there will always be that one more thing left to learn. I visited my manufacturers approximately every 45 days to explore new innovation, to generate newer and bigger ideas. During this visit, I got the opportunity to analyze different production and manufacturing techniques of different electronics, forging new relationships and gaining insights into the nuances of product procurement. Today, at SYSKA, we are 100% made in India. And we are associated with some of the top manufacturers in the country. It seems easy, but at that time, it was definitely challenging. It is about placing the right product at the right place, in the right quantity, with the right quality, and at the right price. Not possible until and unless you have a well-established supply chain. Thus ensuring that both the supplier as well as SYSKA's interests were always aligned. I am confident that today, the supplier in the audience can vouch for the testament of my journey. My negotiation skills and knowledge have vastly improved, and I am no longer just a Papa ki pari. As I steer a vertical today exceeding the turnover of 150 crores, leading a team of 700 indomitable men and a powerful distribution channel of 600, this journey was a continuous learning curve. I realized that to honor a legacy, it is not about fitting into someone's shoes. However, expanding beyond the boundaries of learning to create your own. As we venture into infinity and beyond at this TEDx event, it is not merely about being born into privilege for a second generation. It is more so about continuing to sustain that legacy for generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, as I stand in front of you today, at the cusp of a new dawn for me, a new beginning that is an adventure of promise and excitement from SYSKA's archives. One that is daring, passionate, and fervently and solely mine. It is a new realm of electronics that I have warmly named Boast. Boast is not just a new venture. It is more so a dream come true for me and a new story in the limitless journey of electronics. It is not just a new chapter, but a new book that will be written with the arsenal of past wisdom and new experiences. Every stride, every success, and every stumble will now echo the essence of my vision, my infinity and beyond. As we end this discussion today, I'd like to encourage you all to always be willing to learn and drink from the fire hose. It is important to listen to your instincts, block out distractions, and also be flexible, especially at the time of failure, as fail also stands for fight again in life. Foremostly, most important, follow your dreams and never ever give up. As my guru, Sri Bhagwan says, every obstacle is a brand new opportunity. Lastly, I'd like to remind you to always, always be boastfully light years ahead. Thank you very much, and have a lovely afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable insights. It's really an eye-opener to know that what we perceive as outsiders is rather different what actually happens behind the scenes. I would now like to invite our finance officer, Neeraj Pasrecha sir, to please come on stage and present our esteemed guest with a token of gratitude.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.